while the stage is being set for the next session, I wanted to tell you, you must have seen your badges. There is a QR code with the agenda, which you can scan and see. Since we have 4 parallel tracks running in case you would want to attend another session. We have a case study session going on. We have a couple of other sessions going on. Though I know the technology is something which is the most talk of the town and the most important part of the mix of marketing, as we call it. Speaking of which, we'll move on to our next session, that is Digital Brand Building 2.0, Leveraging AI and Automation for Success, which will be moderated by Mr. Ankit Tomar, co-founder, Artwork Flow by Bizongo. I would like to welcome Ankit on stage. While I'd like to welcome the other panelists, Mr. Champ Alreja, co-founder and CBO Gokwi, and Ms. Prajakta Rathe, Head Performance Marketing, Good Glamm Group, for this discussion. Can we have applause, please?
Thank you so much. Welcome everyone to the track. So I'll quickly introduce myself and then let my fellow panelists introduce themselves as well. I'm Ankit Tomar, co-founder Artwork Flow. Artwork Flow is a creative collaboration platform that helps brands automate their creative process with AI intelligence and really help them 2 value propositions primarily: reduce their campaign time and really increase the ROI of the marketing spend overall. So I'll ask Cham to introduce himself and then Prajakta to also introduce before we get started.
Good morning, folks. My name is Champ Alreja. I'm the co-founder of Goki. A lot of people have actually perceive Goki as a fitness tracker, but we've never been a fitness tracker since day one. We are actually a subscription model. We try and get you healthy depending on how motivated you are, and the more motivated you are, the more rewarding the platform is. With a bunch of coaches, a health store with about 200 plus D2C brands and insurance, and we're foraying a lot into the Web3 world and the metaverse now.
Hi everyone, I'm Prajakta Rathe. I lead performance marketing for the entire Good Glamm group, all the D2C brands that we have acquired, along with MyGlamm, of course. And I have over 12 years of experience in digital performance, and especially into D2C beauty category. So yeah, that's about me.
Thank you so much, Prajakta. Thank you so much, Champ. So the track topic is about using AI for success, right? And using AI for brand building. So I want to start there. Today, if you see, ChatGPT has become the talk of the town. We're seeing a lot of content getting created across the board. People trying it out so much that it actually went down. I think it had 1 million users in the first week itself. Our team has tried the ChatGPT bot to just compare Artwork Flow to a lion or a tiger and come up with really interesting results. I tried doing a LinkedIn post with it and it actually did a pretty good job. If not 100% there, at least 70% there. So I want to understand from both of you, how are you looking at this trend? How are you looking at ChatGPT, Jasper, some of these products coming out and really driving innovation in some ways and really taking that next step in content and images in a lot of this? And do you see any use cases where you've in the past used it at Goki or at any of your teams? Over to you.
Okay. Okay, I'll take this one. So we have chatbots at multiple levels in a user's journey and across multiple stages of a user's journey. One is, of course, where they are discovering the product, right? There are so many things that you need to try them before, like a filter, right? For example, I want to try a lipstick. I don't know what the shade is, if it will suit me or not. It's kind of a discovery that I would want users to make, and users would also want the same thing. We did a filter for that recently, and we ran ads over it. Okay, and of course there were no conversions. We were not looking for conversions there, but the good part is CTRs were good, and the only reason that we did that is because we wanted users to know that, hey, we have a filter. If you go to our website or our app, you have a filter there. Not on app, but we have it on our website. So yes, it does help. We also have beauty advisors, that help users to understand what is their skin type, how they can leverage, or how they can, how do they know that what products are best for me. Will it suit my skin or not? So we have that beauty advisor, chatbot as well on our chat support. So yeah, there are multiple stages that we have content generation, AI related, chats available.
Thank you so much, Prajakta.
Very interesting. ChatGPT is the talk of the town, new technical word. I just want to know actually how many people in this room have experimented with it. Can you put your hands up? Okay, not bad. The others, I would highly recommend just go to the website. You can just at least experiment with it. It's really, it's game changing. They're calling it the next Google apparently. Okay, so how do we use it? Like I said, we're not in the fitness tracker business. So for most companies, they sell you a tracker and their business is done. For us, we sell you the tracker and that's when our business begins, right? So engagement is it's like the keystone for Goki, and our retention numbers are very, very good. But how we do this is, we've been using tools like this in the back end to talk to our users. So think of it like a club model or a closed user group model, where we need to keep our users engaged all the time. I need to make sure that my user comes to our app at least 3 to 4 times a day and is that engaged, right? Because we give him health advice, health food, and all kinds of things. So, that's how we train our AI to work, to speak the user's language. Of course, what we're currently doing is our coaches are using these tools, and our coaches are directly talking to the user. So there's a personal connect, completely personal, but the coaches get nudged on what needs to be spoken to whom, because there's so many players per coach, and we don't want them to miss out on the experience.
Thanks so much, Champ. So I think from an artwork flow standpoint as well, we've been using ChatGPT to try out a few scenarios, but primarily if you think about the use cases for this room, right? As marketing teams, at brand teams, there is a lot of value in at least seeing the first version of the content through some of these products. While it requires that last 20% to be able to complete a copy, but just to be able to see 5 use cases and get your creative juices flowing, that's something that some of these products can help each one of us do. With Artwork Flow, we've been exploring that as the theme and helping brands really come up with content, images, automating some of these options as a starting point, reducing the time that it takes for a copy to be generated or for a content to be generated. But I'll probably move on from there and touch upon a topic that a lot of people think about or actually think a lot about. And this is something that I fundamentally believe, that AI is not going to replace people, but it's actually going to create a lot of value, a lot of focus for marketeers and other teams to focus on creativity while automating the mundane to a large extent. What's some of your views on that, starting with you, Prajakta?
Of course, it's not going to replace us, but it will make our lives easy, and it is starting to do that, right? Where you have certain tools available, it makes easy for us to deploy the campaigns, right? Because there we know that we just have to deploy the campaigns and the rest will be done by a machine, and of course it's a smart machine. So there what I have to do is like we do on Facebook and Google. It has not replaced, in fact, it has created jobs for us, right? So it's only going to create jobs, and it's only going to help us, rather than only thinking about, okay, how does AI not help, or probably AI does add value. It's more of a value-driven thing to look at, is what I feel.
Thank you so much.
Okay, another question for the crowd. There are how many people in this room whose parents wanted them to become a join science in college and not commerce or arts? Hands up. Commerce. There you go. So the thing is, there was this old thing that we came across, and so I'm actually seeing that AI can actually replace a lot of science majors, because a lot of jobs have been kind of mundane. And the good thing is, since COVID, we're also seeing this trend that people are actually pursuing what they love to do, right? And that's becoming acceptable by society, by families. There is income coming from that. So I think AI is going to really change mankind, change the way we perceive things, make life so much easier with just the day-to-day tasks. Like, you don't need to be doing a 1+1 or a 5,025 plus, 1 lakh 25. That calculator was also kind of like AI machine learned, I don't know how many decades or centuries ago, right? But now imagine this on steroids with the world, with open source, with all of that happening. And you can actually, you'll be able to, in the next generation, do what you wanted to do and be more creative, actually.
Thank you so much, Am. So I think similar thoughts from me as well. I believe that AI or some of these tools and how the fundamental models are increasing, right? So currently we see a lot of image and text having reached a stage where all of us see ChatGPT, and some of the, if you've seen DALL-E, it generates a lot of images across for anyone to see. And you get to that 70%. But that 30% is the creativity which drives the uniqueness in a campaign, which drives, the sort of that differentiation in the campaign. That's what will still get driven, and will continue to get driven for a long time. So I think
Just to add to that, actually. So I personally believe that each one of us, our task in this life is to be useful, right? And if we're going to be focusing on things that, everybody's already done, let AI do that, and let us see how useful can we be when other things that can drive this race, right?
Absolutely agreed. I think just a changing track a little bit here, but brand building, right? Brand building is what is important to each one of us in this room, I'm imagining. And brand creates that perception in the consumer's mind. Brand creates the differentiation for anybody in the fields that we are in. How do you see brand building becoming more, increasing the return on investment for brand building, your marketing campaign tags going down? Do you see anything in that space which you're seeing in your own companies, or how are you looking at it overall?
So it's very interesting that you asked this question. It's very interesting that we all actually live in a country like India, which is extremely diverse. About 15 years ago, when I used to kind of be in and out of Hong Kong a lot, meeting a lot of foreigners over there, I would ask, and they're actually set up shop in China, and asked them, what are the challenges you guys face in China? And they said, it's not like India at all, because India is so fragmented. You have different states, different people, different cultures, different consumption patterns, different languages, foods. Everything is so different, and that's the beauty of it all, right? And just take that as an example. If I can run an ad that speaks in Gujarati to somebody and in Marathi to somebody, and just a very, very basic example like that, or engage somebody like that on my app, I mean, that itself is a huge, huge uplift right now. Because if I'm going to speak to English, and I'm going to speak in English to people who are speaking, local languages or their mother tongue, I mean, they're not going to resonate with it. They're not going to know what I'm talking about. How am I going to tell them what to eat? If I tell a, simple person to eat a burger who eats, dal at home, I mean, it's not going to make any sense. But this is what you can leverage with what you're doing. I mean, what's going on.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. And for that, we are trying to do certain geolifts studies and, geolift campaigns where, we can run multilingual creatives in one particular geo versus, probably a English or an English creative in the same geo, and see if there is an uplift, but that of course has to be done manually today. So there are obviously experiments where Meta is trying to build that, automate that, but I think it's in beta testing right now, and we are trying that. We don't have results yet. But in coming to brand building is what I think, how many of you agree that it's all about consistency, right? Brand building is nothing but consistency. So like you were saying before that, a creative whatever that we have on board today, like we upload Facebook, what does a executive or a Facebook executive or a Google executive does is just uploads a campaign, uploads a creative, does not test the brand consistency there, right? If there is some kind of a tool which, especially on Facebook or probably, an extension or something, or a plugin that can help us to understand if there is a brand consistency on all creatives, that can help us, right? Because then there I would be able to understand, even the executive would be able to understand that, hey, you know what, there is a notif or something that, says that, this particular campaign does not have your brand logo in the space or in that placement where it is always, which will help in the CTRs. See, it is not seen on the, on the face of it when the campaign is live, but when the campaign ends, probably as a BAU campaign, you will know that your CTRs have maintained. And the reason why that has happened is because your brand is consistent in all of your creatives. The most, I think that's the crux of it when it comes to Facebook or Google, that you pay attention to the creatives and the brand consistency on all of them. So yeah, for me, brand building is all about brand consistency.
Thank you so much, Prajakta. And I'll probably do a shameless plug there and say Artwork Flow helps you do that. But so I think I agree with what both Prajakta and Cham said. Brand building is about consistency and being able to build, like in India at least, build for that diversity itself, right? And that requires, and today AI can help you do that, really understand the context of your audience, translate that back to your creative operations, keep your messaging and the brand perception consistent, and be able to drive it again and again. One of the themes that we follow at Artwork Flow is also about getting you 70% there in terms of using generative AI to get you the content and the images, but at the same time being able to break down a creative into those smaller components which define the success, measure it against the campaigns or the final destinations where you're sending it, and pass that insight back to your creative operations. And that can help you unlock a lot of creativity, a lot of return on investment, right? So that's something, a theme that we're following, and we see a lot of value as some of these DALL-E, some of the products at ChatGPT, some of these becoming better, that value will be driven across the marketing value chain. That's something that we very strongly believe. Thank you so much. One question for Cham directly. So I think Goki, you talked about it as well, uses a lot of AI towards retention, right? Can you elaborate on that and help the audience understand how that has helped us, and how can somebody here sort of go on that track as well?
Sure. So the thing with health, right? The biggest challenge with health is it's not a one-size-fits-all. Okay? If I tell you, Ankit, go to the gym, you're going to say no, right? So, and if I tell you, Ankit, sleep half an hour early at night, your life may change, you might just say yes, right? So it's not one size fits all. What motivates you does not motivate me. What motivates somebody else does not motivate person X. So what we actually had to build was a lot of, the first period went in actually understanding, human behavior and, what is this that motivates people? What kind of nudges motivate people? Then what we built were different tools within the app to address different people's motivation levels, right? So take one thing for example. So we have something called Goki Cash. Okay, this is a currency you earn from the app by logging in your food or completing your steps for the day and so on. And what you do with this Goki Cash is you go to the Goki Health Store and you can purchase things at really, really good discounts, but you need Goki Cash for it. And we saw that, this motivated 30 or 40% of the people, right? So now we have people coming in for Goki Cash and doing so on and so on. And this is all driven by AI. So I know how many people are going to run out of Goki Cash, what will it take to nudge them so they can earn Goki Cash, what kind of bonuses do I give them to, engage them again. And I don't want them to fall out of the platform for not having Goki Cash. So that's another challenge, right? So that is just one of the examples. There are many other examples. There's insurance now. So the more engaged you are, you get a free insurance cover, right? So if you're very engaged, you get a 5 lakh rupee health insurance cover, plus a 1 lakh rupee life insurance. If you're not engaged, you get a 1 lakh rupee insurance, medical cover. So on. So, right, so we are still learning, and we are always going to be learning, but AI is what powers this entire thing at the back.
And Champ, you also mentioned Web3 and Metaverse, some work that you're doing in that domain. How's that helping engagement?
So what's happening in the Metaverse domain is something actually we just launched, or publicly launched last week. So we're going to create different experiences, such as, you can walk into a meditation room, meditate with like-minded people by yourself, whatever you like. Or you can, let's say, you can visit one of the brands on the Goki Health Store. Let's take Yoga Bar, for example. You can actually see the entire production process of how the bar is made, get an explanation of why this is a healthier product versus anything else that you're consuming as a snack versus a vada pav. So that's the kind of stuff we're doing in the metaverse. We're going to have hospitals, we're going to have everything in the metaverse as a layer of experience.
Very interesting. So this one for you, Prajakta. Can you walk us through MyGlamm's AI-powered conversational media initiative? I think that's something that you and the team have been driving. It'd be helpful for the audience too.
Yeah. So we have multiple journeys live there. An interesting journey is that an abandoned cart journey, right, which is so important, especially for us, where it's not a high ticket value as well, but it doesn't matter because any which ways it's abandoned for me. So you buy something, you go to the cart and you abandon the cart. You have added multiple items to your cart. You will get a notification on WhatsApp saying that, hey, we missed you. You have added something. You have missed something. Do you want to buy? And there itself, you get an option, yes and no, in the chat, in the WhatsApp chat. If you say yes, I want to buy, the chat journey will initiate the payment process for you. Within WhatsApp, you don't have to go out of, you don't have to go visit M-Site for that. So there you get that, so when you say yes, you say that, okay, I'm interested, and then there will be a payment link, you tap on it, you go to your UPI, pay it, do pay now. That's one journey. Then the other journey is the free lipstick journey that we have. We generally send notifications on WhatsApp directly. We ask the user, probably if one person has visited, any user has visited a survey, right? The survey flow that we have, and has abandoned that, or just initiated, just visited, we give them a notification asking that, hey, this is your free product, claim it. Claim your free product. And the entire journey is, okay, what do you like? Do you like a matte lipstick, gloss lipstick? What do you like? And this is entirely in a WhatsApp-only journey. Then there is a third journey, which is a shop now journey. I directly send a message to the consumer saying that, shop now from us. And there you have by category, by concern, by brands, by sub-brands that we have at, MyGlamm or other brands also. So what we are trying to do is we are trying to build a habit, right? It's not easy. Today we don't get any returns, not much, nor the order size is that much, nor the AOV, okay? But what is important is forming that habit. Especially females, what we would want to have is, and of course I'm sure everyone, I today have at least 50 groups of my internal office, all office related groups on WhatsApp today, right? So that is how much WhatsApp is important today. So if it is so important, why not create a habit where I'm asking a user to shop then and there? You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to download the app or, just go to the M site, pay it directly. That's the thing. You can also, we have integrated via word loop, of course, we have integrated the entire catalog as well. So you can shop the entire catalog on WhatsApp. You don't have to go anywhere. You can just choose the product, see the price, you get the discount, everything is the same. So like I said, it's habit forming right now, and it is in that stage. It is not, it's not where we are getting a lot of orders or the conversion rate is very high. No, it's not going to happen because we all are not in that habit to shop on WhatsApp today, right? So also we did interesting is we did run ads on it where we were asking users to, directly chat with us, like we were taking them to send message, that kind of a CTA, where they used to send message on WhatsApp, but however, the dropouts were very, very high because for them, again, why will I go to WhatsApp when I'm seeing an ad on Facebook or Instagram? So that was the case, which is still okay, right? It's going to happen. But when they are accustomed, when all of us are accustomed that this is a channel where I can shop from, then I think this will grow definitely.
Thank you so much, Prajakta. So I think one broad question to probably both of you. we've currently AI has created a lot of possibilities, and I think both of you were driving marketing at your brands. You would have seen lots of products come up in the segment, lots of use cases, lots of things happening. So one, like, are there any that stand out for you? Are there any which use cases that stand out and you feel like, okay, this is something that's going to drive a very high ROI? And the next question probably, is there something which you've not seen yet, but is a wish list, or something that you would like to see people build, which can create a very high ROI for marketing? Or like for your brand campaigns, for your digital marketing, anything which you've not seen come up yet, but would want to see more of? You want to go?
Okay, so so many things come to my mind, okay? Okay, let me start with this. I would like to see a quadrant where I can see creatives, okay? I'm very fond of creatives, by the way, so I'll talk about it. Is that I would want to see a quadrant where there are certain set of creatives where it is said this is driving me high CTR, but these does not have much spends. Then there is another quadrant where it says it has high spends, but low CTR. Right? Of course, there will be low CTR, which is okay, but the conversions and ROAS is also better. Of course, ROAS is a metric everywhere, and this is for performance marketing. And if there are certain creatives that are working for performance marketing, that are not working for performance marketing in terms of ROAS, there should be some tool or AI telling me that, okay, you know what, you use this for branding, don't use it for performance. Right? Because it has more of a tone and, the CTRs are very high, but the conversion rate is low. Or else a tool telling me that, you need to increase the CR because your CTR is very good. People are landing on the page, but they're not buying from you. So probably, of course, we are doing all of these things internally, try to analyze day on day, week on week, month on month. But if there is a tool, why not? Then, I would get that data in one dashboard and see that what look best for me. And probably this will help me, unnecessarily whatever I'm spending today and it's not getting me that ROAS, then why would I spend on it? And I don't want to do it manually. So, yeah.
Makes sense. Champ?
So for us, every property in the Goki health store, for example, we need certain ROI coming from it, right? Otherwise, we don't want a product to be there. And so, take for example now, if there are 3 of us in this room, and you're a consumer of ghee, I'm a consumer of mainly bars, and you're a consumer of protein. If I show ghee to 3 of us, what's my conversion? It's going to be 30%. But if I show what you want and what I want, it could be like as high as 100%. Right? So we leverage our own platform to drive higher sales and ROAS and all of that.
And thank you so much. I think from our standpoint as well, I relate to what Prajakta said as well. Today, a lot of it is driven, while in a manual way, but not a lot of insights from creative insights from your campaigns goes back into the creative operations as such. And a lot of it is driven manually. That automated can unlock a lot of, can reduce the waste spend and really help brands drive which creative should they spend the most on, and that automatically should increase the return on investment as well. Right? So that's a theme that we at Artwork Flow follow very aggressively, and something that we help some of the brands drive higher engagement on because of the insights that flows from the channels back into the creative process. So I think one, probably a concluding question, but do you have any specific advice for D2C and e-commerce brands looking to use AI in their creative process from both of you? I think while you've been using it in very different segments or like overlapping as well to a large extent, but any advice you'll have for marketeers, brand managers, head of performance marketing, how should they utilize AI? And yeah, pretty broad, but...
So I just have one line for them. Don't shy away. Just experiment, whatever it is. In whatever user stage it is, even if it is at a branding stage or a discovery stage, any stage it is, if your AI is involved, don't try to, don't shy away from it. Just use it. Let it run for a month or 2 and then figure out. Don't, shut it off in 10 days, 15 days because it didn't work out, because it needs data. So give that time and don't shy away to test at any stage of the user journey.
So I would like to add, for D2C brands especially, and now that everyone knows the entire, the way D2C brands are just falling off like flies. It's so saddening, But the guys who are starting up, or the guys who are like, getting to profitability and focusing on things like that, please deploy a team to experiment with AI. It's not going to give you results instantly, but it needs machine learning, right? And that needs time, and you will get results. But deploy a team, deploy at least 2 people, just to experiment and play around with these tools, and you will see result.
Yeah, I think I'll just add on to what both of them said, but I also feel that experimenting with it at this stage is important. You will figure out your use case. It's not necessary to use AI just for the sake of it, because if it's not adding value, it's useless. But if you don't experiment with it, you won't find your use case. Most people tend to either use it for some time and then shut it off, or say, okay, it's not driving anything, it's just a fad. But I believe the way technology is going fast, the fundamental AI models are improving. In the next few years, you'll see video, you'll see a lot of these use cases come up, which will be fantastic. So if you are at the forefront of it, if you've experimented enough, if you've known your use case, and you know how to apply it to your use cases, you will succeed. So I feel people will be able to build experiences on top of these fundamental models, give those experiences to your consumers, to your customers, will succeed. So it's very, very important to experiment with it, to have some sort of a budget to be able to experiment with it and find your niche. Not everything will work for everyone. There are lots of use cases, lots of generalized use cases. So find what works for you, and that's something that you can take forward. So thank you. I think if we have some time, we can take 1 or 2 questions. But all right, any one question from the audience for any of us?
I think it was pretty self-explanatory.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Chan. Thanks, Prajakta.